Hey guys, it's Simeon. This is Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 24th of November, 2021 to talk about everything that went down tonight on AEW Dynamite. I thought tonight's AEW Dynamite was a pretty good show. I loved the opening segment, as most people online did. I saw many people online talking great things about that opening segment with MJF and CM Punk and whatnot. The main event, and I'll talk about this more in length when we get to it. I'm watching it. I'm sitting there. I'm going, man, this is a really good match. I'm really digging this match. And as I say that, 10 seconds later, I start flipping going, oh no, this is AEW bullshit. Too much stuff going on in one match. You can't keep track of it. Who's the legal man? Referee's not trying to do anything other than get herself over. Because when a referee gets hit, she reacts to it and whatnot. But we'll talk all about that and whatnot. Again, I liked the main event, but then at the same time didn't like I liked the first half of the main event and didn't quite care for the second half of the main event. It's normal AEW trips and troves. They try to overbook things. Let me raise this mic up just a little bit. They try to overbook things. They try to do too much in their matches, and then it's just like, huh? I don't even know if Pac and Andrade were the legal men at the end. Who the hell knew? I mean, they may have been, they could have been, they should have been if they were the ones factored into the finish, but it's just like, you just sometimes try too much. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and Twitter.com/PW Unlimited. If my voice sounds hoarse and I'm coughing a lot, been sick all week. Caught some sort of a bug. Literally, I was fine all weekend. We did the Survivor Series review, and as soon as I finished the Survivor Series review, I just all of a sudden just not felt good. I don't know what it was. I finished the Survivor Series review, and about 20 minutes later, I just was not feeling good. But with that, if you are watching on Twitch, I want to say thank you for watching, and you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can take your Amazon Prime, link it to your Twitch Prime account or your Twitch account, and turn it in to a Prime Gaming account. That simple. With that, you get free games, free stuff for different games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to support. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you use that free subscription on us right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Because if you don't, it's just money that goes to waste anyways. It's free money that you should be using to help out a channel you really appreciate. But on the flip side, if you're watching over on YouTube, you can help us out in the live chat with a super chat or a super sticker donation. Super chats do get read live on the air. They're the best way to make sure that your comment, your question, your whatever does actually get read. Also, remember, you can subscribe to the channel and become a channel member by hitting the join button down below. All right, so we've got the show. And of course, it's Chicago. So who comes out first? Well, CM Punk. CM Punk makes his way out to the ring, gets a great reaction from the crowd. We're waiting for QT Marshall, and out comes MJF. This is when this shit gets good. This was my favorite thing on the show, which I would assume maybe a lot of people's favorite thing on the show. So, MJF walks to the ring, mic in hand, starts speaking, but he was drowned out by the chance for CM Punk. MJF and Punk MJF said that Punk ignored his handshake like a little bitch. He said that Punk's famous pipe bomb promo was probably his best moment in his career. Yet every moment MJF has is his best moment. MJF said that Punk looks like, he's like, for someone that calls himself straight edge, you do look like a meth addict. And then also did call him ugly, saying that he would have to look at that in the mirror every day. When Punk was asked all the young talent that he wanted to face in AEW, he never mentioned MJF. He mentioned everybody else. That, according to MJF, was because he didn't want any of MJF. MJF said that he'd finish Punk quicker than his UFC career. Punk can do pipe bombs all he wants, but when it's MJF's turn, he's dropping nukes. Punk's turn to speak. Punk said he was disappointed in MJF. He thought this whole time MJF stood for, quote, my jealous fan. Punk didn't bring up MJF in interviews because he didn't want to feed his ego. He's in MJF's head already, probably because he's got a poster of Punk on his wall at home. Last week, he shut MJF up without even having to say a word. Said that MJF thinks he's revolutionary? No. In reality, he's nothing more than, quote, a less famous Miz. And the crowd eventually started chanting for Miz. Not for Miz, but they started chanting Miz, which was really, really funny. Also, number of WWE references going through these promos here. And I didn't mind it because they weren't taking shots at WWE. They were either references to Punk, who was in WWE and stuff like that, or the Miz promo, the Miz line, I mean, because everyone has said, you know, early on in AEW and stuff, oh, this is just a lesser Miz or whatever. MJF stated that, well, he didn't state anything. He went to talk, and then boom, Miz chance. He finally did get to talk and said that Punk is just nothing more than nostalgia. And he's been kissing ass since coming to AEW. MJF accused Punk of getting soft, saying he as well, saying he may as well have come out here and preached. He's like, no, I wrote this wrong. He said, you're getting soft. We should call you PG Punk. And you can come out here and preach that hustle, loyalty, and respect. He said that Punk wouldn't come back because he was terrified. Deep down, Punk knows that he's only ever been second best. No matter if that was to, what did he say? Whether that was to the hustle, loyalty, respect guy or the king of kings. He's like, I'm better than you, and you know it. Punk then said that he's been doing this for a very long time. He sold out Madison Square Garden when MJF was marking out for Rosie O'Donnell. MJF said that New York Times, he said MJF will make the New York Times again. It'll quote, it'll be for the obituaries. And right before that, he said, sing me a song, Maxwell. Punk said it pisses MJF off that he went after Darby Allin first. MJF is too worried about the four pillars without realizing, well, you've been replaced by Britt Baker. Punk's fine with being number two because he comes from the second city. They don't call Chicago the second city just because, well, they're number two. Because when this city burned to ashes, or he said when this city burned down, they built it right back up from those ashes. That MJF will only ever be number one if we wait long enough for Tony to have a daughter and then MJF marry him. That he's going to punch MJF right in his little needle dick. And then they look like they're going to fight and MJF retreats. I like the Waterboy line there. I like the Waterboy reference there. Needle dick. Fucking needle dick. So MJF looks like he's ready to fight and he, like I said, gets out of the ring. Go to commercial. When we come back, we've got CM Punk versus QT Marshall. Give me 1 second. We got a spammer in the chat. All right, there we go. Took care of that. Match didn't last too long. Punk easily out-wrestled Marshall early on, including not falling for the distraction of Nick Comoroto and Aaron Solo. Camarado and Solo were sent to the back after the referee realized they were trying to get involved. Marshall got control after driving Punk's midsection into the corner. This didn't last long, and Punk very quickly made a comeback and clotheslined Marshall to the floor, where he landed a diving clothesline ahead of a commercial break. Once back, Marshall hit a Liger bomb for a 2. He taunted Punk, who came back with a high kick. Punk landed a top rope elbow drop and called for the GTS, nailed it, and picked up the victory. So CM Punk beats QT Marshall tonight in his hometown of Chicago. Everybody expected that one. But again, I do got to praise the work between CM Punk and MJF, though. That was just great work there. Last week, I expected this. I said last week on the review, I said, hey, I like that they didn't speak at all and that they're going to speak next week in Chicago, that they're going to go back and forth. And they did, and this was leaps and bounds by far better than I even expected. I knew it was going to be great, but it was better than I even expected. Christian Cage was backstage with Jurassic Express as they were being interviewed. Christian said they have all the momentum in the world, and their confidence is sky high. Jurassic Express are now the top-ranked tag team in AEW. Christian said, and Christian is going to make sure that they win championships. Okay, I don't know how he's going to make sure without cheating. Like, what are you going to do? Help them? How? You got to keep on the up and up, Mr. Captain Charisma. Also, keep it 100. You're a spammer when you put the same thing in the chat 3 times in a row. That's called spamming. Buddy Kingston was eating backstage and shouted out Jon Moxley. He was then interrupted by Daniel Garcia in 2.0. They said that Kingston isn't hungry anymore and offered him some help. Kingston exploded, and a dozen people had to hold him back. Match is set up for Friday. Daniel Garcia versus Eddie Kingston. So next up, we had a match that I don't think really anybody cared about much. It was the Gun Club against Bear Country. And no offense to either of these teams, but meh. Gun Club attacked before the bell. Bear Country took control with Boulder hitting a big press slam. The fight moved to the outside, where the Gun Club and Bear Country fought into the stairs. Colton hit the Colt 45 out of nowhere and picked up the victory. After the match, Darby's music played and Sting came out. Austin charged up the ramp at Sting, but was cut off with a huge tackle from Darby Allin. Allin and Sting chased off the Gun Club and stood tall. What the fuck is this? Are you kidding me? Are we really going to get Billy and Colton or Billy and Austin against Sting and Darby? Who the hell cares about any of that? Like, who? Who? Got the announcement, or actually more of the confirmation of what we knew. AEW Battle of the Belts will be taking place Saturday, January 8th, 2022 from the Bojangles Arena in Charlotte, North Carolina. And to be honest, if it's just a 1-hour show like Tony Khan has been saying, what's going to get me more hyped for this than an episode of Rampage? And don't tell me, oh, the titles are going to be on the line. Well, that means one belt is going to get very shafted in their match because it's going to have to go short. Because if it's a 1-hour show, and I doubt it's a 1-hour show with no commercials, then you're going to have some short matches. But unless this is where they do Danielson versus Page, I don't think there's really anything that can entice me to even want to watch this show. It's just another episode of freaking Rampage, a 1-hour TNT special. What's so special about that? What's so special about that? Again, unless this show gives me Danielson versus Page, and if they do, that match has got to go 20 minutes at least. And there's going to be commercials. And then the other matches, if you do, because if we look at the graphic for this match, let me pull it up here. Excuse me. We look at the graphic for this match. I've got it right here. Whoop, wrong. Let's pull this up. Why isn't it wanting to show? Here we go. Battle of the Belts. Wrong screen. Got this. It's a little blurry because it's from the YouTube or the Twitch video. But if we see this here, Battle of the Belts. Got all the champions. Tag champions, world champion, TNT champion, women's champion. Now, if all the titles are on the line, that's 4 matches. And if you look at a normal Rampage that does sometimes 4 matches, that's 2 matches that are going to be really short. And who's going to care about title matches that are going to be kept really short? Like, if you have a 1-hour show with 4 title matches, you know at least 2 of these matches are getting shafted. Even if you do only 3, one of those matches is going to be a squash or a something that people ain't going to fucking care about. And so right now, I'm not caring about Battle of the Belts. I could care less unless this is the show where we get Page versus Danielson. That's the only thing that will entice me to watch this. I mean, fuck it. I don't really watch Rampage because it's just a meh 1-hour show. So, I mean, like I said, if it's just a 1-hour show with 4 title matches, then who cares about short title matches? It's like, what, huh? John Cole and Bobby Fish were backstage. Cole was heated. He said he and Fish were like best friends. And then up walks best friends. Cole ran down the team one by one and offered a match with Fish. He and Fish, Cassidy and Yuta. I don't know what's going on here. No bucks. Well, I get it. No bucks because, well, they said they're not clear. And so I guess they're shifting everything to Cole and Fish until the Bucks can come back and Kenny can come back and wrestle and this. So, okay. Team Taz and Lio Rush and Dante Martin were about to sign a deal, but Taz got impatient and Rush tried to end it. Dante, however, stopped Rush and signed the deal. Team Taz celebrated. Again, this is another segment where I was like, what just happened? So Dante Martin is now with Taz and not with Lio Rush? Or did he sign for both he and Lio? I don't know. This is another segment where I came out with more questions than answers. Britt Baker in the back said that Jamie Hayter would win the match tonight and move on to win the tournament. Well, that didn't happen. Nobody expected that to happen. It was Thunder Rosa against Jamie Hayter. That a very long collar and elbow tie-up to start this match. Hayter sent Rosa to the floor, but was thrown into the barricade. Upon re-entry, Hayter cut Rosa off with some stomps. Rosa came back with some strikes and sent Hayter into the barricade once more before landing a running dropkick and a suplex on the floor. She went for a crossbody, and Hayter caught it and sent Rosa into the ring post ahead of a break. Once back from said break, Rosa countered a superplex, and landed a missile dropkick for a 2. Hayter hit a big backbreaker for a 2 of her own. She traded forearms in the center of the ring until Rosa escaped a suplex attempt and hit a Russian leg sweep. Rosa locked on the Peruvian necktie, but Revel distracted the official, and Baker broke up the hold. Rosa then avoided a super kick from Baker, who inadvertently hit Jamie Hayter, which I go, oh, okay, cool. But then they did the same fucking spot in another match later, and I go, why? Rosa dispatched Rebel and rolled Hayter up for the win. Rosa will now face Jade Cargill in the semifinals of the tournament, and this is an interesting one to me. This is the match that I expected we would get. I thought that the interference would be successful. Rosa would lose, then want to go after Britt, and then Jade can just beat Jamie Hayter to go to the finals. But now the big question is, who wins this match? Thunder Rosa or Jade Cargill? If the plan was what we have heard is Thunder Rosa to be a big challenger for Britt Baker and the title in early 2022, she shouldn't be losing. At least not straight up. If there was a reason where Baker costs her, that's different. And that's what I thought should have happened tonight. Baker costs her this match. She wants to go after Baker, and then eventually Tony Khan makes it a title match, and this and that, and da-da-da. But who wins next week, or the next match? Jade? Or Thunder Rosa? Like, it's very perplexing. Chris Jericho was asked backstage about what's next. 2.0 and Garcia interrupted, all happy after throwing some coffee on Eddie Kingston. Jericho advised them to cool it and made fun of one of 2.0's heads. Said he was like SpongeBob SquarePants. He's got a square head. We then got square head chants from the crowd. He said, if they ever interrupt him again, he'd knock their teeth down their throats. Again, a nothing segment. A very nothing segment. You know what else was nothing? Friendsgiving. Baker, Rebel, and Tony Schiavone were having Friendsgiving backstage. Baker said that it started off poorly because Thunder Rosa won, but it's okay now because she's still the champ. Schiavone went to the video screen, reminding her that Riho was never eliminated from the Casino Battle Royale at All Out. If Riho beats Baker on Friday, well, she earns a title shot. And I go, again, another nothing segment. Yeah, I built up a match for Friday, but it's still kind of a nothing segment. Like, they built this up like it was going to be something better, but it was just like, oh, we're eating Thanksgiving food. And Britt, by the way, you're facing Riho on Friday. Cool. It's like, excuse me, a lot of nothing segments, but good wrestling. Some really good wrestling on this show. Next up, we had Bryan Danielson against Colt Cabana. They had a really nice technical exchange to open everything up. Danielson laid in some hard strikes. Cabana came back with some chops, jabs, and a bionic elbow. He wanted the flying apple, but Danielson reversed it into a released German suplex and followed it up with a corner drop kick. Danielson wanted a top rope back suplex, but Cabana fought off and landed a moonsault for a 2. Danielson then came back and laid in some repeated curb stomps, basically. The thing where he holds the arms up and he kicks and kicks and kicks and kicks you in the face. He then rolled over into the label lock and locked it in, getting the submission victory. It looked like he knocked out one of Cabana's teeth in the process here, too. I don't know if that was the case. I haven't checked on social media. Let's see, hold on, Twitter. See if Colt Cabana's maybe said anything. Colt Cabana. Has Colt said anything? No. Colt retweeted his flip-flop and fly, but that's about it. But it did look like he got a tooth knocked out. Let me look at something else really fast. Colt Cabana. Because apparently, I didn't, maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention. Apparently, this was shown on the big screen in the building. Danielson holding Cabana's teeth in his hand, or tooth, whatever. Oh, yeah. It looks like he knocked the sucker's tooth out. Very interesting. And then he's going to heal it up and go, hey, look, I knocked your tooth out. See if there's anything else. Nope, that looks like it's the only thing referenced really to it. All right, so going forward after a commercial break, Danielson was interviewed by Schiavone. Danielson pointed out that when he debuted at All Out, he had a much different reaction. He called the fans fickle. Fickle, fickle, fickle. Gotta love it. He didn't just kick Cabana's head in. He kicked his teeth out, he said. Danielson offered to kick any of the Dark Order's head in. And then turns his attention to Hangman Page. And right on cue, out comes the champ. Page said the Cabana will be the last one to get his head kicked in. He offered to defend his title against Danielson right here, right now. But Danielson accused Page of being a coward by picking a fight with a man who had just already wrestled. Page says he still wants to fight and offered Danielson the first shot. Danielson slapped him and they brawled. Page went for the buckshot lariat. Danielson escaped, retreated, and ran up the ramp. Again, we still don't know when this match is going to take place, but I'm interested. I think this could be a really, really good match. Got a hype video hyping up Ruby Soho versus Chris Statlander, which will be taking place next week. They told us that on Rampage, Eddie Kingston will take on Daniel Garcia. Britt Baker will take on Riho, where if Riho wins, she gets a title shot. And Adam Cole and Bobby Fish will take on Orange Cassidy and Wheeler Yuta. Plus, Tony Khan will announce more matches for next week's Dynamite on this week's Rampage. Then we got the main event, which is a tale of two stories. First half, I loved this match. I loved the action. Second half, AEW through and through. Too much bullshit. Too much bullshit. So everyone makes their entrance, and of course, Cody comes out last. Cody's pyro goes off, and there's some Cody chants in the building. Cody, Cody, Cody. Because at first, when it does the whole thing, wrestling, greatest family, or whatever it says, boo, tremendous boos. Then when the chandelier starts to rise for Cody to come out, we hear, Cody, 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 Cody. And I'm like, oh, dang. And by the time Cody's in the ring, he's getting booed ferociously. Like, big time. By the time he got down to the ring. Cody received a massively negative reaction, and he and Dax Harwood started off the match. He had a drop down right hand, and then a power slam before tossing his weight belt into the audience. Tossed it like 3-4 rows back. So they're going back and forth and this and that, and all of a sudden, the belt comes back. The belt gets thrown back into the ring. It hits Aubrey Edwards. She's confused. She's like, whoa, what was that? And she then throws it out of the ring. Andrade then grabs it and throws it under the ring. Cody eventually gets it and just puts it on. Like, okay. Also, since Saturday, it's Fickle with an F. It was never Pickle. I don't know why you've always been confused. It was never Pickle. Fans are not pickle, they're fickle. With an F. So going forward, Penta landed the thrust kick. Was flattened with a lariat by Andrade as before he tagged in. Penta escaped to Phoenix, who hit a flurry of quick offense. Death Triangle, then hit triple buzzsaw kicks and triple drop kicks to Andrade for a 2. Cody tagged himself in and was immediately overwhelmed by the heels, who attacked him 4-on-1, and the crowd erupted tremendously that Cody was getting attacked 4-on-1. Phoenix then finally tags in and hit a springboard double cutter. Hit an Escalara into a Hurricane Rana on Andrade, and then a flurry of kicks on Black. Totally distracted Phoenix, allowing Black to take him down with an STO ahead of a commercial break. Once back, Phoenix reached Penta for the hot tag, who came in with a diving crossbody. He hit a double DDT on FTR and a backstabber on Andrade for a 2. This is when all shit just started to just break down right after this. Pac goes for the missile drop kick, follows up with a Fosbury flop to a pile of guys on the outside, and then shit just, yeah, you can't follow nothing. Wheeler cuts off Pac with a flurry of backbreakers, leading to a parade of big moves. Cody went for the thrust kick on Andrade, but Andrade moves and Cody super kicks Pac in the head. And I go, oh, where have we seen this already tonight? Saw that spot in the women's match. So everyone's down, and then all of a sudden, Tully and Arn get into the ring. And then Andrade's guy, Jose, gets into the ring. He takes his jacket off and he throws it at Arn. And then they throw him out of the ring. FTR get in there with Tully, so Arn can't do anything. Phoenix takes down FTR. All of a sudden, they cut to ringside, and Alex Abrahantes has got fucking Jose's head stuck up someone's ass, sticking it through the damn barricades or whatever. I don't even know what was going on there. And they're like, was that Alex doing something? And I'm like, oh, I guess so. I don't fucking know. Again, Phoenix took down FTR with a crossbody, and Penta hit some sling blades. Penta then hit a tope con grillo, and Phoenix landed a top rope crossbody to the outside. Black then blinded Pac, who was on the top rope with the mist. Andrade hit a hammerlock DDT and picked up the victory. So, yeah, a lot of just crap at the end of the show. The heels then celebrate, I guess you could say, as the show goes off the air. I like the beginning of the match, maybe even the first 2/3. But that sequence there at the end or whatever, just didn't do it. Just too much bullshit. Why do we need Tony and Arn getting in there? They ain't going to do nothing. And then Jose, what the, huh? No, that was some dumb shit. But with that, you know what I thought of the show? Now I want to know what you thought of tonight's AEW Dynamite. Remember, you can let me know with a super chat in the YouTube live chat or by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. But before we do that, we got to check our polls, ladies and gentlemen. As far as the Twitter poll does go, 80% of you liked tonight's show. 12% didn't like it, and 6% thought it was just all right. As far as the Twitch poll does go, pull that one up here. What? There it is. 100% of you on Twitch liked tonight's Dynamite. And as far as the YouTube poll does go, 78% liked the show. 13% thought it was just all right, and 9% did not like it. Go to the text messages. First text message does state, do you see Riho potentially regaining the AEW Women's World title? I did never say never, but no time anytime soon. I can see a number of women winning that belt before she ever does again. I would never say never, but it's a very slim chance. Melvin Benton says, I thought AEW Battle of the Belts would be about 2 hours on January 8th. No. Tony Khan has been asked multiple times about this show, your TNT specials, and he keeps saying, well, as of right now, it's only a 1 hour show. Like in his last interview with Dave Meltzer for the Wrestling Observer, Dave asked him again, hey, you know, you've got Battle of the Belts coming up. Is that going to be more than a 1 hour show, or is it a 1 hour show? And Tony said in that last interview, I can't reveal much, but I can say, yes, as of right now, it is only a 1 hour special. And Dave literally said, well, if that's really it, you need to do something really big to entice people. Like, he knows just the way I said it. A 1 hour show? I mean, you already have a 1 hour show on TNT. What are people going to care about this 1 hour show? Yeah, titles are going to be on the line. Titles have been on the line on Rampage as well. Titles have changed on Rampage, and it still doesn't make me more interested in wanting to watch Rampage. It says, honestly, I thought the best part of Dynamite was when CM Punk basically said Miz was more awesome than MJF when he called him the less famous version. Going forward. I think Dynamite was great. I loved MJF and CM Punk segment. I've heard that a lot of people compare MJF to be the next Miz. Well, yeah, they're both like stuck up rich guys that think they're better than everybody. And they're good on the mic. That's why people compare MJF to Miz. Says, do you think the AEW championship will be on the line, the Battle of the Belts? Why AEW calling out WWE anyway? Well, they didn't call out WWE tonight. They didn't call out WWE at all. They made fun of CM Punk's time in WWE, basically. Saying that he was second fiddle to Cena and second fiddle to Triple H before he walked out of becoming second fiddle to Triple H, basically. So, excuse me. It wasn't them calling out WWE. It was referencing, and this is perfectly fine when you do it in a way that makes sense, referencing somebody's career from the other company. Not one of these was a shot at WWE at all. And that's why it was fine to do. Now, unlike we've seen in the past where there's shots at WWE where they're legit talking crap to WWE, that's different. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and Twitter.com/PW Unlimited. I do want to say, keep an eye on the channel tonight because I got some news coming up. News came out throughout the day. I wasn't really feeling well. I took a nap before Dynamite, watched Dynamite. Now I'm feeling better. So we got some news that's going to post on the channel right after this. So with that, guys, have a great rest of your night. And I will see you Friday for Friday Night SmackDown. Have a good one.